If you do anything wrong in your life, and I find out about it, I'm gonna try to take everything away from you. And I don't care when I find out. Could be today, tomorrow, 15, 20 years from now. If I find out, you're fucking finished. Who's that? That's you.
So I did not want to go back and forth with Katt Williams like that. That bothered me so bad. That really bothered me.
It was a setup.
Right.
And remember, they tried to kill me this same weekend. Not in jokes, with a real gun in my real face on real camera. Understand, I'm losing my life.
The exclusive security video from the Atlanta Comedy Theater in Gwinnett County. You can see Wanda Smith and her husband by the front door. Watch as Katt Williams.
If you've been scrolling through socials this week, you've no doubt seen the chaos swirling around Katt Williams, exploding back into the spotlight. Clips are flying everywhere, debates are raging, and once again, cancel culture has found its newest target. This time, it's all about Katt and that infamous clash with radio host Wanda Smith. That moment wasn't just some random radio appearance, it was one of those scenes that instantly became legendary the day Katt walked into Wanda's studio.
I do a really nice broccoli. They like my broccoli and they love my baked chicken.
Hey, right now, look up your phone and see what it takes to make broccoli and tell me he doesn't say heat up water. That's the only step in broccoli, heat up water. Simmer. Have you ever heard of burned broccoli? Can you burn broccoli?
Flipped her own show on its head and left her career in flames. Or at least that's what the internet is saying now. The clip has resurfaced with a vengeance. People are dragging it out like it just happened yesterday, using it as Exhibit A in their case against Katt Williams. He destroyed Wanda, they're saying. He ruined her career. He's a straight up piece of trash for humiliating her on her own platform. The outrage is pouring in, with some folks demanding that Katt issue a brand new apology, not just for Wanda, but for her family too. And all of this comes right after Katt shocked fans by publicly apologizing for mocking Michael Jackson in his old specials. He admitted he crossed the line back then, and he claimed that behind the curtain, the industry was deliberately pitting black men against one another for profit. For once, it seemed like Katt was ready to turn a new page, but the internet wasn't about to let him off that easy. Instead, the apology opened the floodgates. If you're sorry for disrespecting Michael, people argued, then you owe Wanda Smith an apology too, because what you did to her was 10 times worse. Suddenly the internet was on fire again. The comments were brutal. One user flat out wrote, Katt Williams is a POS for what he did to Wanda Smith.
I shouldn't have, honestly. Some of these things are the reason that the enemy decides to go ahead and let you be famous, is your ability to tear down your own kind, no matter how high they are.
F him, another chimed in. I remember when Katt roasted Wanda and Atlanta laughed with him. It was funny then, but now people want to act like they always had her back. Nah. Wanda is gone, and y'all are rewriting history. If I were her, I'd haunt you lanes. But not everyone was ready to throw Katt under the bus. His defenders came out in full force, and leading the charge, none other than Dave Chappelle. Chappelle wasn't having it. He pointed out that comedy has always been about pushing buttons, about clapping back when someone takes a shot at you. That's what Katt did, plain and simple. Comedy is the last arena where you can truly speak your mind, Chappelle said, and no comedian should ever let themselves get silenced. To Chappelle, this wasn't about cruelty, it was about the art of roasting. Wanda took her shot, Katt fired back, and that was that. If anything, he said the real problem was fans digging through old receipts to build new reasons to cancel someone, even if the receipts are years old. Here's what most people don't know. The drama between Katt and Wanda didn't just stay in the studio. According to Katt, things spilled over after the camera stopped rolling. He claimed Wanda and her husband literally tried to come after him over a joke. Yeah, you heard that right. A roast turned into a real-life threat. But before we get there, let's rewind. The date was September 2018. Katt Williams was in Atlanta with fellow comedian Red Grant. Red was on a promo run for a string of shows, So the two of them rolled up to V103's Frank and Wanda in the morning show. On paper, it was supposed to be a quick 20-minute interview, no big deal. Instead, it turned into the most watched clip in the station's history. Why? Because Katt didn't just sit down for a normal Q&A. He flipped the entire thing into a live, unscripted roast session, and when Wanda tried to clap back, she got scorched. At first, the conversation seemed harmless. Wanda tossed a few questions, Katt cracked some jokes, but then Katt pivoted. He started talking about Tiffany Haddish, specifically how Tiffany had blown up in Hollywood without ever doing a proper stand-up tour.
I have 3 boys.
Excellent.
Yes, I do.
Aren't boys simple? Aren't boys simple?
They can be. They can be.
Yeah. Wanda knows she
I'm what?
She didn't do as much cooking in the latter years as she did in the beginning.
Whatever. I cook. I do it all.
I didn't say that you
Well,
didn't.
that's all right. I did it in the beginning and the middle and the end.
What's your favorite thing to cook? Your boys, yeah.
They like for me to I do a really nice
He claimed nobody could name a single original joke Tiffany had written. To Katt, this wasn't just shade, it was a bigger issue, a symbol of how the comedy industry treats black women. He said, the system keeps sidelining genuinely talented black women while propping up someone like Tiffany as the face of comedy, even though she hadn't put in the same grind on the road. According to Katt, Tiffany wasn't chosen because of her talent. She was chosen because she was safe, a package Hollywood executives could sell to mainstream audiences. That's when Wanda jumped in to defend Tiffany. She argued that Tiffany blew up because she's authentic, because people love her realness. But Katt wasn't buying it. He cut her off, saying Tiffany's rise came down to 2 things. First, she constantly talks about dating white men, and secondly, she's light-skinned. That was the spark. The second those words came out, the vibe in the room shifted. What started as playful banter suddenly felt like an ambush. From there, it only escalated. Wanda tried to pivot the conversation by making a little dig at Katt's personal life. She asked him if he ever cooked for his kids, clearly aiming for a light jab. Katt didn't hesitate. He flipped it right back on her. That's dope. You cook? Do you cook for your kids? His delivery had the room buzzing.
The Emmy for the city of Atlanta, and this is in Atlanta, and they just want to hear about the Emmy and hear from you and to thank you for what you did putting the city on.
Right. Okay.
And we won't talk about your kids, we won't talk about jail, no cases, we ain't gonna talk about none of that.
Right.
And immediately gets in there and goes the opposite way. You can't flip up on me because you're an inferior comedian. I'm going to destroy you, and I'm never gonna call you out of your name. I'm never gonna say anything disrespectful to people that look like you. It's a very thin line I got a call, but this lady is trying to embarrass me.
The studio cracked up. For a moment, it looked like they might smooth things over. They even shared a laugh. But Katt wasn't done. Not even close. Out of nowhere, he started bringing up Wanda's family, her kids, and before long, the interview had turned into a full-blown comedy showdown. Katt was in his element. The studio became his stage, and Wanda became his target. He hit her with punchline after punchline, each one sharper than the last. Wanda tried to hold her ground, but her forced smile told the real story. She was burning underneath. Wanda tried to turn the tables, dragging Katt's legal troubles into the conversation. She mocked his run-ins with the law. She even took shots at his hair, thinking she'd finally landed a hit. But if you've ever seen Katt Williams roast, you already know that was the worst move she could have made. Katt pounced on every word she threw at him, twisting her insults into setups for even nastier comebacks.
In front of a largely homosexual fan base. That's why she got canceled. Gay people don't take it kindly that you would, as a derogatory, call me gay. Gay people don't feel like it's derogatory. So why are you trying to shame me with something in a community I don't even belong in? There's no gay people saying I belong over there or been over there.
You did
but I have no hatred of over there, and how dare you?
You did a number on it though.
Hey.
You did a number on it. That's legendary.
At that point, it wasn't an interview anymore. It was a live battle, and the cameras were rolling the entire time. What should have been a forgettable promo spot turned into Wanda Smith's most infamous career moment. The clip spread like wildfire across social media. Memes, edits, reaction videos, Everybody wanted a piece of it. Some people laughed it off, saying Wanda got exactly what she asked for. Others argued Katt went too far, that he embarrassed her on her own platform in front of the world. And now, years later, that clip is back in circulation like it never left. Only this time, it's not just entertainment, it's evidence in the court of cancel culture. So why is this moment suddenly resurfacing? Why is Katt Williams being dragged all over again? And why is Dave Chappelle standing tall in his defense while fans argue he should apologize once more? Because this wasn't just an interview. It was a cultural flashpoint, one that revealed way more than just jokes. It was about comedy, respect, race, gender, cancel culture, and the thin line between roasting and ruining. Toward the very end of the interview, things hit a boiling point. Wanda just couldn't hold herself back anymore. She decided to throw one last jab at Katt Williams. This time, she called him Lil Mama, dig that carried more sting than humor, and then went even further, hinting that maybe Katt was gay. The air in the studio shifted instantly. What was once light banter turned into tension you could feel through the screen. People watching later said they could almost hear the collective gasp in the room. But Katt, he didn't hesitate, not even for a second. He snapped back with a sharp sting of his own, the kind of comeback that left Wanda visibly scrambling for words. She was on her own show, in her own space, surrounded by her own people, but somehow Katt had managed to turn it into his stage. In that moment, the control slipped right out of her hands, and the humiliation was written all over her face for everyone to see. As one fan later put it, "Get this inmate out of here." That's how wild it looked. But then just when people thought the drama was over, things flipped from funny to deadly serious. Wanda couldn't shake off the embarrassment from that interview.
Under the sound
Because
of my
she's
voice,
real.
do you have a real co-worker?
Right.
Do you have a ratchet friend? Do you have a sister? Do you have a cousin? Do you have a nephew? Do you have a niece? Is they so ghetto? When did that become marketable? Knock it off. They like her because she want to sleep with a white man. That's why the only thing she said was, "I want to give it to Brad Pitt." The only thing before that in the movie with me is, I slept with this white man and I got a white baby. She had a white husband for the 14 years she been doing comedy, and then all of a sudden divorced him, then said he abused her, then wrote a book, then said he didn't, and then now we're at Brad Pitt. So hey, you can say whatever you want. She said she got a disease for JJ. Don't nobody check for that.
And according to reports, she wasn't just upset, she was furious. Furious enough that what started as a roast spiraled into real-life danger. The story goes that Wanda allegedly sent her husband and even her own son to confront Katt with a gun. This all went down on September 15, 2018, right outside the Atlanta Comedy Theater. Wanda was hosting a comedy night, something that should have been a normal event, just laughs and applause. But instead, it turned into a street-level showdown. Here's what happened. Wanda's husband, Lamorris, pulled up in the parking lot, and according to reports, he flashed a weapon at Katt. Security cameras caught the chaos. The footage showed the tense moments between Katt and Wanda right before Lamorris stormed in and started chasing Katt through the lot. People watching the video later said it looked like something straight out of a movie. Katt sprinting, Lamorris close behind. It was absolute chaos. Police records confirmed Lamorris admitted to chasing Katt, but he swore he never pulled the gun, claiming it slipped out of his hand while he was running. Wanda, for her part, gave her own explanation. On her radio show days later, she told listeners Katt only showed up to disrespect her. According to her, her husband was simply doing what any man would do, protecting his wife. But then, boom, TMZ came crashing in with receipts. The gossip site dropped a bombshell video footage that showed Lamorris clearly holding a gun and seemingly chasing Katt straight into a nearby grocery store. Now, to be fair, the video never showed him pointing the weapon directly at Katt, and Lamorris insisted he wasn't trying to shoot anybody. He said the gun just looked worse than what it was. But let's be real, whether he pointed it or not, the image of him waving a firearm around was enough to spark nationwide headlines. The damage was already done, and just like that, the Wanda versus Katt feud wasn't just some viral interview anymore. It had escalated into a scandal splashed all over the news. The entire country was watching. Fast forward to January 2019, and Wanda was suddenly fired from V103 Atlanta, the same station where the infamous interview had gone down. No official explanation was ever given, but rumors swirled instantly. Many connected her firing back to the Lil Mama jab, and especially the way she tossed around gay insults during that interview. Atlanta, remember, is a city with a massive black LGBTQ+ community, and Wanda's comments, they didn't sit well with a lot of people. Some insiders even claimed that her attitude in that interview and the messy aftermath with Katt sealed her fate. The radio station wanted no part in carrying that baggage. Meanwhile, Katt Williams stayed silent. For years, he didn't say a single word about Wanda getting fired. No interviews, no statements, no sly jokes. He just kept it moving, leaving fans to speculate whether he felt vindicated or just didn't care enough to address it. That silence lasted until January 2024. During his viral sit-down on Club Shay Shay, Katt finally broke the silence. And when he did, he made it clear the Wanda drama didn't actually start on air. According to Katt, the beef started before the cameras even rolled. He claimed Wanda had promised him something backstage, that she wouldn't bring up his kids and she wouldn't bring up his legal problems. That was the deal. But the second he mentioned Tiffany Haddish, Katt said Wanda broke that promise and went straight to those exact topics. And from there, everything spiraled. Katt also dropped another bomb. He claimed Wanda wasn't just tossing out random shade in that interview. She was deliberately trying to humiliate him in front of her gay fan base. Katt said Wanda thought if she clowned him in front of that audience, they would ride with her and turn against him. But instead, according to Katt, the plan backfired, big time. He argued that this move, more than anything else, is what ended Wanda's run, because instead of rallying behind her, her own audience didn't like how she handled it. And once the radio station saw the backlash, her career began to fade. But Katt didn't stop there. When it came to Wanda's husband, Katt claimed the whole thing felt like a setup from the very beginning. He said it wasn't just about some jokes gone too far. According to him, Wanda was really trying to get him caught up in something dangerous, something way deeper than just roasting each other on the mic. He painted the picture of a situation that could have easily turned deadly, all because he refused to back down. And then came October 2024. Wanda tragically passed away just one day after celebrating her 58th birthday. Fans and fellow comedians mourned. Social media filled with condolences, throwback clips, and tributes. But Katt Williams, he stayed silent. No post, no statement, no flowers, nothing. And that silence spoke louder than words. People instantly started debating whether Katt did the right thing. Some argued that his silence was actually the most respectful choice. If he had posted condolences, critics might have dragged him as a hypocrite, accusing him of fake sympathy after years of beef. Others argued maybe Katt did reach out privately to Wanda's family, but he just didn't broadcast it for the world to see. Still, for a lot of fans, the lack of any public response kept fueling speculation. And now here's the wildest twist: social media has started trying to resurrect the old drama all over again. Some users are calling for Katt to be canceled, pointing back to the Wanda feud, even though he once claimed he almost lost his life because of it. The irony here is off the charts. It lines up perfectly with something Dave Chappelle has been saying for years: cancel culture is cutting the legs out from under comedy. The very thing comedians are supposed to do: push boundaries, test limits, and make uncomfortable truths funny, is being treated like a crime. And in Katt's case, it feels like history is looping back around, dragging him into a storm he thought was over.
This might be the noblest of professions. Robin Williams had a bar that I loved. He said comedy is the only job you can have where you can use everything you know. And that's true. You can use more than you know. You use what you think. You don't let these bitch-ass niggas button your lip. Say it anyway.
So here's the real question. Should Katt Williams come forward now and give Wanda's family a public apology, the same way he once apologized for his old Michael Jackson jokes? Or are people just reaching, trying to drag him into another controversy with no solid reason? At the end of the day, the Katt versus Wanda saga is one of the wildest stories in comedy history. It went from jokes and jabs to guns in a parking lot, firings, accusations, and silence that still makes headlines years later. And even now, after Wanda's passing, the debate rages on.